Hi, welcome to this SQL tutorial video. Today we're going to look at the environment, the SQL database environment itself, looking at how we can find different objects that we are trying to locate, looking at how we work out how these objects are built, be it tables, procedures, views, just navigating generally within the database itself. So on screen I've got a standard SQL Server Management Studio window open. On the left hand side I've got the Object Explorer where I've got my current connection to my server. I can have more than one connection to a server at one time, so I can click on connect and go to the database engine, and if I know I've got another server somewhere, another SQL server, I can put the server name in here and it will open up another connection below the current connection. It'll have the same options, the same folders, that sort of thing, but it will be a connection to a different server, and you can have as many of those as you like. Within the folder structure, within this tree view here, we're going to look at the databases folder in this video. In the databases folder, it shows you a list of all of the user-defined, user-created databases. There are system databases and other system bits and pieces in these folders, but the objects directly within the databases folder are user-created. In a similar kind of theme, if we go into here, we've got a tables folder within one of our databases. So this shows you the tables in that database. If I click on the plus directly below the tables, those tables directly in that folder are user-created tables. There's also system tables. The same with views, user-created views, and there are system views. So the system views are the views that come with a database out of the box that Microsoft provides. So we don't need to worry about those so much. We're only interested in the user-defined views here. If we're looking for, so the tables are in the tables folder, the views in the views folder. If we're looking for procedures or triggers and that sort of thing, click on programmability, and within that we've got a store procedures, triggers, functions. Within functions we've got another set of folders providing information on whether a function is a table function or a scalar function. Now within each of these folders then we've got a list of objects. If we are trying to, if we've got a great long list of tables in this case, and we're trying to find a particular table, yes, we can go down here and try and find it, but also what we can do is you can right click on the folder, the top level folder here, the tables folder, click on filter and choose filter settings, and what that will do is it will bring a window. Sorry, this is my screen has made this a peculiar size, but it brings a window that something looks like this, and it's the same for anything when you're looking at filtering views or procedures or whatever. So you've got options here, so you can filter on the name of the object you're looking for, the schema, and if you're unsure about what schemas are, well, I've got a video on schemas and I'll put a link to schemas in the description. The owner, the person who created it, when it was created, that sort of thing. So if I make a filter here, if I add person, so the name will have person in it. It contains person. I've got options there to say it doesn't contain or it matches. So it contains person. If I click OK, it will then filter to only show the tables that have person in the name. And like I said, it's the same with views. You can filter on views or any other types of objects. When you're done, right click, go to filter, and you can remove that filter. Now we have tables then here, and if we click on the little plus next to a table, we have more folders in here, and the folder we're going to look at here is the columns. So we've got the columns in our table. There's our table. These are the column names with the data types. Same with if we went to something like a procedure. If we look at this procedure here, we've got a folder called parameters, and if we click on the plus, this shows you the parameter for that procedure. So the parameter you need to provide in order to run the procedure. Same with any objects. If we've got the views, you should see a list of columns within our view. If, however, you find to see that list of columns, but maybe you want to see how the view is actually made. And this again goes for tables or procedures or anything like that. So if I find something I'm interested in and I right click that object, I've got an option of script as. And if I say create to a new window, it will bring me up the SQL that builds that object. Now this is only if you've got permissions. If you don't have permissions, then you won't see anything here. But if you've got permissions, it will show you the exact tables and the exact query that builds that view in this case. If we move there to a stored procedure and we right click a stored procedure, we've got the option of modifying, or we can go to the script as and we go to create. Now generally, depending on what you want to do, I would generally advise that you go to create, because if you choose modify, then it does exactly the same thing, except instead of create, you've got alter, which means if you make a change by accident and run this, you will alter the stored procedure. However, if you've gone to create rather than modify, then you can't accidentally make a change, because if I run this here, it'll say, hold on, you can't do that because we've already got one of these procedures in the database. You can't create another one. So that little thing there stops you from accidentally making changes while you're viewing and investigating something. But there is the full makeup of the stored procedure. So you can see at any point, right click any object and you can see how it has been built. Script to new query. So depending on what you're looking at, you get different options in here. So when we're looking at tables, we can say get me the top 1000 rows. It's a neat and quick way of getting information out of a table. So instead of having to type select star from, you can just say, right, get me the top 1000 rows from that table, and it will write get me the top 1000 rows. Should there be 1000 rows? In this case, there isn't 1000 rows, but it's a nice quick way of accessing data from a table quickly. Also, then, if we say edit top 200 rows, it will show us a slightly different view here. But what it does is it allows us to add new information here. So this row here, we can put information into this row and actually insert data into this table without having to go to the insert data option. Not necessarily advisable. You really should use the insert, so you've got a bit more control. But this is an option if you use the edit 200 rows. Now, I want to show you then, imagine, so these are all particularly to do with tables here. When we put a filter on the tables, we can look at the, we can filter on the table name, the table schema, that sort of thing. But what if we're looking for a particular column? We'll want to know a column name and which table it belongs to. Right, well, we can do that. So in order to do that, we need to write some SQL. So I'm going to show you an example here. If we do select star from, now we've talked about schemas before, like I said in a previous video. There is a schema called sys, and it's a system schema, and within that there are particular SQL objects that are available. So if I do sys.tables, this is the tables table, and it lists all of the tables. So we've got person, hold on, what's his ship method, shift. You can see these tables here are there. So this is just a list of the tables here that you see here. Going from that, you can say, okay, in a join, sys.columns. So let me give these tables an alias, and the link is called object ID. So I'll say ta.name because I'm table name, and co.name because that's the column name, and I can run that, and it now shows you tables and columns. So now you can say, where co.name like number, and it will show you the table and a column that has the word number in it. And there's all sorts of information here. So we've got schema information. So maybe we'll just join to sys.schemas and add the schema information. There is another way of finding this sort of information, and it is looking at the information schema. So if we look at the information schema.columns, we just look at that, it shows us, without us having to mess about with individual joins here, it shows us kind of a collected set of data here. There's a schema, there's a table, there's a column. More than that, there's the data type. So there's a lot of stuff in here, a lot of very helpful information here. So if I added my filter and said where column name like at number, now we're going to get more results here. This one here had 16 results, but I expect more here, assuming if we've got 31. The reason we're getting more here, got this information schema.columns. The information schema.columns view includes views. So when we're looking here, this upper select only looks at tables and columns in tables. This here isn't just tables, it's also views. So we're getting phone number in this view as well as revision number in this table. And we've got a lot of information in this information schema.columns. It's very, very handy. One last thing I wanted to show you before the end of the video is if we want to look at a table, so I've shown you, we can right click and we can say get me the top 1,000 rows, but we can also do select star from, and we can drag the table from the left, and then we can run it, or the same with anything else. Select star from, my view, that view. So you can grab things here and just drag them across, be it a stored procedure, a table, a view, whatever. That's the end of this video. I hope parts of it were helpful. Any comments that you've got, please leave some. It helps me improve my content. If you liked it, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Thanks for watching. See you next time.